Hi, I'm Jeff Barnett. I'm Chief of Transportation for Charles County Government. I operate in charge of the VanGO service, the red and white buses that you see operating all over the county. We're here at the La Plata Park and Ride lot, which is an MTA commuter lot for park and rides, as well as a southern transfer point for the VanGO services. Here today to talk about what we're doing to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Since early March, very early, the first week in March, we began an aggressive campaign of disinfecting the buses with a hospital-grade disinfectant anytime they return to the yard. So they're wiped down thoroughly and then misted to keep the virus down as much as we can. For the last 2 months, we've required masks for all of our passengers as well as our drivers. We have restricted, up until just last week, the number of passengers to 9 maximum to allow people to socially distance on board the buses. The ridership started to tick up just a little bit in the last few weeks, so in consultation with the State Department of Health and our Emergency Services Department, we have increased the capacity on our larger buses to a total of 12 passengers. And that's allowing us to not have to leave anyone stranded. We certainly don't want to do that. Our smaller buses are still restricted to 9. We are blocking the first 2 rows of seats out on all of our buses to allow the drivers to be distanced from our passengers a little bit. And we're encouraging people only to take essential trips. In my entire career, that we've always encouraged transit ridership. Now we're discouraging it a little bit. So we want to try to keep the numbers down until this whole thing passes. So we're constantly in contact with our state and our national trade associations as transit systems develop new techniques to protect the public and employees. And we're ready to employ any of those as we come up with some new ideas and recommendations from health professionals. If you decide to use VanGO and you haven't used it for a period of time, you can expect the service to be, we've been operating full service. We never scaled our programs back as a lot of other transit agencies did. So the published schedules are still in effect, and you can find them on our website. They're all listed there. We're operating full service, and you will have to wear a mask. That's not only a state, but a county requirement. That's been in effect for some time. And we've had complete 100% compliance with that. Our ridership has complied with that fully. I also wanted to let our riders know that throughout this, we've had our Americans with Disabilities Act service available for elderly and disabled folks that are certified in our system. That ridership's dropped significantly by about half, but I think some folks may think that we're not operating that, but I want to encourage them if they need to make a trip, we're there for you. Call up just like you always did. So I'd like to remind our riders that we're there. We've been open for business. Our service is reliable. It's a mandate that you wear a face mask, so please bring your face mask with you. And if you are certified for our door-to-door specialized service for elderly and disabled, we're there for you. Call, you can make an appointment just like you always did.
HSUS, which is the Humane Society of the United States, and HSUI, which is the Humane Society International, reached out to their shelter partners throughout the United States and Canada, asking if we had any space to take in Korean meat market dogs, or some of them may have been used for the puppy mill trade. They reached out to us about 2 weeks ago, and last week those dogs came in. Over 60 of them came from one farm in Korea. In total, 100 dogs came from Korea over to the United States, and they were dispersed throughout the east coast of the United States and to the shelter partners, and then the rest went to Canada. So this is the second time that we have participated with Korean meat market dogs. The first time we got 2 Dindo puppies, and they got adopted pretty quickly. So this time we took in 8 from Korea, and they are a mix of poodle, Chihuahua, we've got terriers, we've got a couple of Dindos, and a couple of Tosa Inus, which is the breed for Korea. Some of them are really scared. They've been living in a cage, so they'll need some socialization, and then some are really outgoing and seem to really like people. Again, they've been living in a cage, so they'll need the proper housebreaking, things like that, but in time and patience, they can make somebody a wonderful pet. We try to help HSUS. We also help during hurricanes and natural disasters. Even we also have a shelter ally program with HSUS. COVID has made it a little bit more difficult as far as moving these animals around. But yes, we are a partner with them. So if they were to go in and help another farmer in Korea to switch over to a different crop, then yeah, if we had the space, we would also participate. We always make sure that we have space to take in these animals, that our animals are in our locality are being adopted or rescued before we commit to bringing any other animals in from somewhere else. So the dogs from Korea, they went into this Korean farm, went into the Korean farm in February, and then COVID hit, so they weren't able to move them out of Korea. So they stayed in a 30-day quarantine while they were in Korea, and then they've been boarded until they could make the trip last week. When they first took possession of the animals, a vet took a look at them, gave them the necessary vaccines, and then, like I said, they went into a boarding situation. And then before they were able to actually fly out of Korea, they again saw a vet, had to get their health certificates and any additional vaccines that they may have needed, and then they were able to fly over. So any animal that you adopt from us, the adoption fee actually includes a vet visit. So even these dogs will still go and see a vet. They'll be altered, spay or neutered. They'll make sure all of their vaccines are up to date, and then they get a rabies, a microchip, and then they're tested for heartworms to make sure that they're negative, or if they test positive, we'll make you aware. But all of our animals that go up for adoption also get all of this. So again, if you wanted to help a Korean meat market dog, email us and we'll try to match you up with one we think will fit your family. But we have many other dogs here that need an adoptive family or a loving family. In addition to, we get all kinds of pets. So we, of course, have cats and kittens. It's that time of year, so lots of cats and kittens are here. But we also get our critters, like currently we have rats. We do get goats, chickens, pigs, pretty much anything you can think of. We get a lot of guinea pigs, rabbits. So instead of buying those at your pet stores, you could always reach out to us and see if we have any, and we can, again, set you up for a meet and see if it will fit with your family. We are working by appointments only, so what we ask is if you go on our website and you see one that you would like to meet, that you send us an email at animalshelter@charlescountymd.gov, and then we'll schedule you an appointment. And we do that for all of the animals, not just our Korean dogs. As soon as an animal becomes available for adoption, it's put on our website. So if you're looking for a certain breed, or you really want to rescue one from the shelter, then check our website. We also do post on our Facebook page, which is Tri-County Animal Shelter, Southern Maryland. And you'll see some of those animals on that page, but you'll still need to send in the email, set up your appointment, and then come on in and we will give you the opportunity to meet the animals. If you have dogs at home and you're concerned whether your dog at home is going to get along with the dog that we have here, we do advise you to bring your dog with you. We can do a meet and greet through a fence, and you can kind of get an indication of how the two dogs might adjust to each other living in the home. Of course, we would, for the first couple of weeks, expect you to supervise the animals and make sure they actually are getting along. If you're thinking of adopting, now's the time.
Applying for jobs with Charles County government is now easier and more efficient. Visit www.charlescountymd.gov for more information.